Good morning, everybody. It is now 10 a.m. We will call to order the Board of Commissioners meeting for Tuesday, December 13th. If you would please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. At this time, we will accept public comment for items that are not appearing on our agenda today. Is there any public comment for items not appearing on the agenda? Okay, we are seeing none. We will accept public comment as each item is under consideration. Is there anything to add to our agenda today? No? Okay. We will look for a motion to approve our minutes from our meeting and work session.
Motion to approve the minutes from the meetings held on December 6th, both Board of Commissioners and work session.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
The motion has carried. Okay. We are going to head into Ordinance 5 of 2022, and we do have Jen Patina with us today. Jen was with us 2 weeks ago to kick off the advertising, and we're prepared to adopt, but we wanted to welcome Jen to see if there was any other comments she'd like to make, or if anything
We're just going to go over some clarification real quick.
Fantastic.
Okay. Act 57 clarification. This will only pertain to new ownership to a property that will be eligible for Act 56. They will need to provide the tax collectors with the appropriate documentation. This will only be effective for 12 months of that billing cycle. They will need to provide a deed of transfer and when a transfer took place. And for a mobile home, they'll have to provide a lease agreement, a sales agreement, or a transfer of title within that time frame. The act will not revert back to a 2% discount. It will go back to face only. If they are turned over to tax claim and collections, we will waive all fees and they will go back to face for payment. Currently, we're working with David Gaines to do clarification to the tax collectors. I spoke with Mark Kellerman in assessment, and he and I are going to work with all the tax collectors to help them do a verification, since they may not all have access to county documents and know all the situations for every new property owner. So we will be working with that for all 36 tax collectors. Property owners in College, Ferguson, and State College Borough will need to do 2 applications because they have 2 tax collectors. They have Center County that collects the county portion and the municipality that collects the school and the municipal portion. And if any properties are turned over delinquent for the 2022 tax year, of course, this is not effective because once you do the ordinance, it's January 1, 2023 forward. And as to Steve's question last week, and is this residential only? It is all new property owners, commercial, agricultural, all new property owners.
Those are great clarifications, Jennifer, and also we want to recognize the fact that, again, this is a mandate from the state, and as we come in to adopting the ordinance and putting it into place, there may be growing pains. And so when property owners interface with yourself and other folks at the county to rectify some of the issues that this act allows for, if we need to make tweaks or make more clarifications, I think we're happy to do so, but appreciate how far we've gotten. Again, this is happening all across the state, counties and other entities passing something to come into compliance with this. So we appreciate getting this done ahead of schedule. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Realtors are familiar with this process and the procedures that
The realtors? I would presume so. I don't deal with the realtors too often, but I've gotten like Penns Valley School District's ordinance, I've gotten College Township's ordinance, so everybody is adopting, so I would say yes, that they are well aware, but I can reach out to them and make them.
it would probably make some sense to make.
Yeah, the Center County Association of Realtors would be a great entity. You've worked with them and interface with them. That might be a great suggestion.
Yes,
Absolutely.
I can reach out to them when I'm finished with David, so. Okay.
Any other questions or comments from us? Okay. Any public comment on this before we look for a motion to approve or adopt, I should say? Okay, seeing none, we'll look for a motion.
Motion to adopt ordinance number 5 of 2022, an ordinance declaring property tax penalty waiver provisions by implementation of Act 57 of 2022.
I will second that.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. The motion is carried. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff. Okay, heading into our resolution section, we have Resolution 24 of 2022, and we're going to welcome up Mitzi Gallagher Long, and this is to discuss, we'll turn it to Mitzi for her to.
First, congratulations to Commissioner Higgins for
Absolutely,
being named
yeah.
president of the CEDACOG Board of Directors. The first item that I have for you on the agenda today is Resolution 24 of 2022, and this is for the submission of the Eagle Creek Water Sewer Project for competitive funding. There are some folks here from the Eagle Creek, Mark Toretti, who's with Pantera, who is their engineer, and Scott Yoakum, who is the president of the HOA. And the project is your 21 and 22 entitlement project that you did allocate funding to. The additional funds that are needed to complete the project are approximately $1.85 million, which is what the application will be submitted for. And this is to construct the sewer line that DEP is mandating that the HOA connect to mid-Center County sewer, and also construct an emergency water line for emergency use. So this resolution will basically authorize that project, direct CEDACOG to submit the application, and authorize Chairman Pipe to sign the application documents.
Thank you, Mitzi. Any questions or comments on this resolution?
Happy to help out the people in that housing development. I know they've been waiting a while. So thanks for your help on this, Mitzi.
Sure.
So Mitzi, we hope that this goes through. We hope the state funds this. If that wouldn't occur, if the CDBG program doesn't fund this, what would be some other options or opportunities for the organization?
PennVest, they could apply for PennVest, ARPA funding, also PA small water and sewer.
Is there a timeline when they need to come in compliance or finish this project?
I'll ask Mark that.
Yes, I'm Mark Toretti with Pantera Engineering. We originally, our clients in the HOA received this directive from DEP in 2018 to connect as soon as possible. And whenever we start looking into it, then we hit the COVID. So now we're moving forward with the project, as soon as we can here. So hopefully want to start construction, looking at probably a 2024 start of construction. So.
Okay. I appreciate that.
Okay,
Thank you,
thank
Mark,
you.
very much. Thank you. Okay. Any other questions or comments on this resolution? All right. We're seeing none. We'll look for a motion to approve. I'm sorry, adopt.
Motion to adopt resolution number 24 of 2022, authorizing the submission of an application to the Pennsylvania Department for Community and Economic Development for a community development block grant competitive program to help people have a good sewer line.
There you go. I will second that.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion or questions? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 The motion is carried. Then we go into the contract section, which addresses this item as well.
These are the 3 application pages that require signature. There's a general application certification, language access certification. That language access certification is the same one that you have been signing since 2019. According to the 2019 American Community Survey, the county triggers need for translated documents to be offered in Chinese, Russian, and German languages. And the disclosure report is the report in which all entities that may have any financial gain through the project are listed, and that would be the county, DCED, CEDACOG, and Eagle Creek.
Anytime we go after a competitive CDBG grant, this is the standard practice. So again, it's just reauthorizing these essentially. Okay. We'd be happy to take, if you'd like to continue into the other items that we have there.
Sure.
Mitzi, we could do that. And then we could pause for the Appalachian Regional Commission and then welcome those folks up. Yeah,
You want me to do the next one then?
yeah, please.
Okay.
The second one.
The
or
next
third
item
one?
is Amendment 3 to your existing professional services agreement between CEDACOG and the county for CDBG administration of years 16, 17, 18, and 19. As you may be aware, Bellefonte Borough is considered an on behalf of community, which means that by population count, they receive their own allocation of CDBG funds that are to be used exclusively for Bellefonte Borough residents. At the time that CEDACOG entered into agreement with the county for administration, Bellefonte Borough believed they would be utilizing their own personal private consultant for CDBG administration of those years, and also that they needed their full allocation for their Talleyrand pedestrian bridge project. However, they have completed their project under budget, and council also has realized that they did not utilize their private consultant and instead have been requesting CEDACOG to complete revisions for them for those years, as well as file financial reports, participate in monitorings on their behalf, close out contracts, process invoices. So at their November council meeting, they recognized this and have asked the county who holds contract for Bellefonte Borough to amend your contract to allow CEDACOG to be compensated for the work that we've done and will be doing for those years. And the agreed upon amount is $4,000.
Sounds absolutely reasonable.
Yes.
Okay, absolutely. So what we'll do is we'd be happy to look for a motion to approve those 3 items, and then we can do the ARC one separately. So we look for a motion for 1, 2, and 3.
And to summarize for those at home, the nice pedestrian footbridge project there between the train station and the match factory that's bolted to the CEDACOG rail line, it came in under budget. So
Yes.
it's a little-
And that's the last item I have on your agenda, is actually approving the revision that we will put together. Bellefonte Borough Council took action in November to approve the revision. They have a remaining balance of $8,395.14 in the Talleyrand project. They're asking for $4,000 of that to go to CEDACOG administration, and then $4,395.14 to go to Bellefonte Borough administration.
Thank you, Mitzi, for rounding that out. We'll look for a motion for 1, 2, and 3.
Motion to approve the planning and community development items 1 through 3.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Any questions or comments on those? Seeing and hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
The motion is carried. Okay,
Thank
Mitzi,
you.
Thank you very much. Okay, for that 4th item there, we are pleased to have Betsy Lockwood, also from CEDA Council of Governments, and our Director of Planning, Ray Stalinas. And we do have some guests, I believe, from the MVEMS, and so we'll let Ray and Betsy introduce those folks. So thank
Good
you.
morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
This morning, we have a request for consideration of the Appalachian Regional Commission application. This is a full application, which is due at the beginning of the year, for the 9,900 square foot ambulance and training headquarters planned for the old Phillipsburg General Hospital site for the Moshannon Valley EMS facility for the ambulance and training headquarters. The total cost of the project is $2,085,000 on 111. CEDACOG is assisting us with that application. This is part of the Moshannon Valley EMS application as far as ARC goes. We also have an ongoing RACP grant that will be assisting, and we will be acting as grantee for that project. So Betsy's here also as well. She's heading up the application. If you have anything, Betsy, that you want to add.
Hi, my name is Betsy Lockwood, and I'm the Director of Project Development Grants for the Economic Development Program at CEDACOG. I work with Mitzi. And this is in addition to the $1 million RACP grant. Other funding for this project includes $785,111 of local funds, and then the $1 million of RACP funds to match the $300,000 of Appalachian Regional Commission funds. ARC requires a basic agency to administer construction projects, and in order for the Department of Community and Economic Development to serve as the basic agency, they ask that Center County serve as the applicant for these funds, and then they can funnel the funds through to the Moshannon Valley Emergency Services. Wes Cartwright is here as well, and this is the full application that is due, as Ray said, at the beginning of the year. We're requesting approval and for the Center County Commissioners to sign the federal forms to send the application in. Wes, do you have any other comments, questions?
Thank you, Betsy. Yeah, Wes, thank you for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you. The only thing I would like to add is that I know the ARC's
looking for job development and so forth. And we're pretty excited about some of the things we've got going right now. We did hire a regional training coordinator. We're going to be doing a lot of training through the program, hopefully EMT, paramedic, advanced EMTs and so forth. So that project's already in motion, and we've submitted our application to the Department of Health for accreditation. It's right now, that's it. So there's a lot of exciting things we're looking to do with this new station. Will give us more room. We're just in the infant stages right now of looking at a community paramedicine program out of the facility as well. We're really excited about that. So we've got a lot of exciting things going on, and hopefully the facility goes through so we can get that done.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Wes. Yeah, this really, if I could just go, please. No, okay. Just was going to say that, we have the local match through the efforts of the MVEMS. We've got the RACP from the state, and what a better way to kind of do the trifecta of getting some federal dollars there. It truly would be top-to-bottom approach of investing in healthcare services and emergency responders. So again, thank you to each of the partners we have here today for that.
Thank you.
So, Wes, could you remind the folks at home to turn in their memberships?
Turn in your membership.
EMS services.
Yes, that's
Definitely
very
needed.
important. We've also asked for any in-kind donations with the membership to apply toward the project. We're still working on other funding to municipalities, in-kind donations, some foundation funding. We're still looking for additional funding to help offset our expense. Sorry.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Wes. Thank
Yep.
you for that.
And then additionally, for CEDACOG, they're not just here because I just became president, so appreciate your coming. I've been working with Betsy now for about 7 years. She's fabulous. We've had a period of maybe a decade where we did not receive any Appalachian Regional Commission grants. Over the last couple of years, we've had a nice run, won several here in Center County, including for the helping the Rivet on North Atherton purchase a bunch of equipment. But as Wes mentions, this would be an especially great project, improving the safety, security, and health of people in the Moshannon Valley area around Phillipsburg, additional perhaps job creation, additional training, and as Mike says, it's kind of a win in every direction. We pull down federal money, we pull down state money, we've got local money, and great things beginning to happen in Phillipsburg.
Okay. All right. So at this time, we will look for a motion to approve that fourth item.
Motion to approve the Planning and Community Development application to the Appalachian Regional Commission for a $300,000 grant toward a total project cost of $2,085,111.
I will second that, and I hope they get it.
Yeah.
It's been moved and seconded. Any questions or comments? Okay. All right. Seeing and hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
The motion is carried. Okay. Thank you all once again. Appreciate it. Thank you. Okay. For our fifth item for our Planning and Community Development Office, we'll welcome up Chris at this time to discuss an MOU. Good morning, Chris.
Thank you, and good morning. I have one memorandum of understanding that's going to be presented today, but before I get into that, just want to give a reminder of what the MOU that's being presented today actually is, and it's a three-party agreement, and this is between the developer, the township, and the county, whereby the developer agrees to reimburse, in this case, Potter Township, for the review, inspecting, and approving the engineering details of the plans. It's not, the board isn't approving the plan, it's just approving the contract that the developer agrees to reimburse the county, the township. So with that being said, the memorandum of understanding for today is what's called the final subdivision plan, and it's for DBRA Enterprises in Potter Township. The proposal represents a final plan, and it's showing the subdivision of 3 lots with corresponding infrastructure containing 88 acres. The subdivision is located along the southern boundary of State Route 45, also known as Earlestown Road, and it's about a quarter-mile west of its intersection with Old Fort. And as you draw your attention to the screen, this is the site that's being subdivided. This is the intersection with 144 and 45 with Sheets, Snappies, and a former bank, and it's also approximately about a quarter mile east of its intersection with one of the gates to get into the Center County Grange. The plan, which was prepared by Century Engineering, shows the 3 lots being subdivided, with Lot 5 containing 13 acres, 6 containing 70 acres, and Lot 7 containing 5. Lot 5 and 7 are earmarked for commercial development, with lot number 6 going to continue to be agricultural, and it's just a very long rectangular lot. And that's the MOU that's being presented for today.
Okay. Chris, thank you so much. Any questions or comments on this MOU? Okay. Okay. We will look for a motion.
Motion to add the MOU for final subdivision plan to next week's consent agenda.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any questions or comments? Okay. Hearing and seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. The motion is carried. Chris, thank you so much.
All right,
Appreciate
thank you.
it.
Have a good day.
Okay, under this next item, the county has had for several months now the opportunity to study and review what we're calling an Act 315 Health Department feasibility study in partnership with the Borough State College. We were able to study through a consultant the opportunity to create a county health office, and we want to put this to a conclusion to notify the borough who had interest in potentially partnering with us or going their own way, or us both deciding not to continue with the health office. And to start the conversation, although we had really compelling information and data on health information within Center County, as we've talked through some of our budget discussions, we have a lean budget, a focused budget, and this is going to be a big lift that I think many of us believe that this is not the appropriate time for the county to create a health office if it ever would occur. But again, to give any support and any partnership that we could for the borough if they choose to do so. But I think we're all agreed that it's not the time to enter into these discussions at this point. There's a lot of unknown costs that other counties who've created health departments in the last several years, not only in Pennsylvania but in other states, have seen. And so again, because of that and other reasons as well, but that one being a chief one, I think we can agree it's not the best time to do this. So I'll offer that as a starting point, and we can go from there.
I think you stated it well, Mike. The costs were potentially substantially higher than the initial estimates. The possibility of state grants covering a significant fraction of the cost appear to be not very likely. And also, I think there was some misperception on the board that there might be some possibility of providing direct medical care to citizens in Center County, especially in our rural areas, and that also appears not to be covered by a health department of this type. So I think it drastically lowered our appetite for the project.
Absolutely.
I would agree, and I think when you come down to the fact that, you have to hire doctors and other medical staff and all the other administrative fees and costs and build up to it, I just don't think it's a win for us right now. So I would wholeheartedly agree that this is a good time to table this conversation.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you to both my fellow commissioners for those comments. Again, if there's any help that we can provide or support partnerships to the borough, I think State College Borough, I think we're happy to do so. But we did want to notify them prior to the end of the year so they could go in the direction that they see best fit. So, we would look for a motion to notify the Borough of State College of the county's intention not to create a county health department.
So we'll make the motion to notify the State College Borough of the county's intentions to not participate in funding a health department.
Moved and seconded. Any questions or comments at this time? Okay, all right. Seeing and hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. The motion is carried. Okay, again, appreciate our perspectives on that, and we'll notify them in due course. All right, our next item is for our central booking office located at the Center County Correctional Facility. We have our leader there, Shane Billett, joining us, and we do want to talk about some of the items on the agenda. Good morning, Shane.
Good morning, everyone. I'm here to present 2 contract renewals. The first one being with the PA Chiefs of Police Association for our CPIN live scan machine. The maintenance contract runs from January 1st, 2023 to December 31st, 2023, in the amount of $6,500. The second contract renewal is with Kaiser Consulting Group to provide maintenance and support to the Polycom system. That period runs from March 15th, 2023 to March 14th, 2024 in the amount of $155.
Shane, thank you so much. And Lieutenant, we continue to hear nothing but good things about the work that's done at the Central Booking Center. Vital resource for law enforcement here in Center County and public safety. So we appreciate you coming in to present these items, which, lower amounts of the contracts we consider so vital to keeping folks safe here. So appreciate it very much. Yeah, absolutely. Any other comments or questions?
I was just going to say,
Yeah.
I think it's a fantastic program. It's a cooperative arrangement between the county and all the local law enforcement community, and I think it really says a lot about your ability not only to run this and do the fingerprinting and all the other things that you do, but the real benefit of what happens here is it gets police officers back on the street after an arrest, and you do the arraignment, you do all the video, and you do all the legwork while they have the opportunity to get back out on the road and keep us safe. And I think it's been a great program for everyone in the county. So thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. So we will look for a motion to add those to next week's consent agenda.
Motion to add the central booking items 1 and 2 to next week's consent agenda.
It's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
The motion is carried. Okay. Thank you again, Lieutenant. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
For ITS, we have our Director Chad with us. And Chad, we will turn it over to you for these 3 items.
Good morning. Today I have 3 items for consideration. First one is an addendum to our all-paid contract to allow for e-check payments to be collected. Second item is for what's called Softerra Daxis. This is a software management tool that we use to manage our Active Directory. Contract total for that is $1,483.52. And the contract length is February 3rd, 2023 to February 2nd, 2024. And then the last item for consideration is with Kronos. County uses Kronos for timekeeping in our correctional facility, facilities maintenance, and our 911 emergency communication. This contract total is $25,222.67 with a contract length of January 24th, 2023 to January 23rd, 2024.
Chad, thank you so much. Any questions or comments on any of those 3 items?
No,
Okay. All right. We are seeing none. We'll look for a motion.
Motion to add information technology services items 1 through 3 to next week's consent agenda.
Second.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. The motion is carried. Thank you, Chad.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Next, we're going to welcome Tracy Martin up, and we're going to talk about records management and our contract renewal with Iron Mountain. Good morning, Tracy.
Good morning. Well, recently, Iron Mountain's contract, they rejected it because they had the effective date of, July 25th to be signed. We didn't sign it until September, so they rejected us, so we had to do a new contract. So the terms, conditions, everything's the same. They did finally give us an updated fee chart, which I enclosed with everything. But the new contract date now is January 21st, 2023, and will end on December 31st, 2023. So I'm just asking for approval for that.
Tracy, thank you so much. I think one of the things we would look at as we go into the next week's consent agenda is some of those fees and services, just to appreciate them, because it seems like they're curtailing some of the ability for us to get documents. And so, we are where we are. We have records there, but we do have opportunities just to be aware of what those totals might be. Then also you had mentioned they rejected that contract, and so just finding out from my perspective what they did from July to December in terms of how are they going to, if we didn't have a contract, they had our records, how are we going to remunerate them for having them? And if they reject it, that's completely fine, but I don't think they're going to hold our records for free. So we talked about that offline as well, but just to reiterate, it's a unique situation. They don't want to backdate a contract, that's fine, but we should still figure out how we're going to be compensating them. So, but appreciate this. This is a really big way that your office interfaces with records. So, yeah, absolutely. Any other comments or questions? Okay. All right. Hearing none, we'll look for a motion.
Motion to add the contract with Iron Mountain Information Management, LLC to next week's consent agenda.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. The motion is carried. Okay, Tracy, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. All right, for our next risk management item, we will welcome in Krista Davis and Carrie Hull. Good morning to both of you. Good morning. Good morning.
So as you know, our property casualty insurer offers us the ability to apply for safety grants throughout the year. And so this morning we are coming to you with a new idea, and Carrie Hull is here to present the reason why we are here.
Thank you, Krista.
Thank you. So I spoke with Krista about some of the funds that she has access to and thought they might be eligible to purchase our naloxone emergency boxes. The HOPE initiative has discussed these boxes at our meetings. Commissioner Dershowitz is very aware of them. So think of an AED machine. It's kind of along the same premise. It will contain Narcan, and we're looking to purchase 4 of them and put them in some of the county buildings. So it'd be here at Willowbank, next to our AED machine in the lobby, and then 1 in the courthouse, 1 in the annex, and then 1 at Summit Park to start with. We want to reduce the stigma associated with opioid use disorders and overdoses, and if we keep them in the same realm as other life-saving devices, I think that's going to help people understand. So it sort of looks just like similar to our AED box, and it would be mounted with the help of facilities management next to our AED boxes. And then Krista already monitors those boxes and would be able to, check the expiration on the Narcan to make sure. We would get our Narcan from Dr. Bada as we normally do, and we would replace it when it needed to be replaced with expiration. We already have Narcan with our Sheriff's Department and our correctional facility, but this would be one extra level of having it available in our county buildings.
Thank you very much to both Carrie and Krista on this. Anything we'd like to add about this? Yeah.
I think it's a fantastic program.
Yes.
It's a lifesaver, and it's a relatively simple process. And anybody who is familiar with the Narcan system, basically it's a nasal dispensed product, and it really, even if you do it by accident, if somebody who's not in a opiate use overdose situation, it wouldn't be no harm, no foul. It really is. It just blocks some receptors in the brain that basically shut off the ability to the body to accept the opiate, the heroin or whatever whatever the ingested product would be, and basically saves lives. Absolutely. It's very simple.
Absolutely. This is great. This is really great. So thank you for the presentation, the comments as well, and I think we'll look for a motion at this time.
Motion to add the grant application with Pennsylvania County Risks Pool to next week's consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, it has been moved and seconded. Any final questions, comments on this? Seeing and hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. The motion is carried. Thank you to both of you. Appreciate it. Thank you. All right, we are heading into facilities management. Lee, we'll turn it over to you. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you. We have 2 contracts today to bring before you. The first is with Appalachian Construction. This is to provide the fire alarm testing for the Willowbank building for the calendar year 2023, to include devices, panels, batteries, and such. The contract total is $3,380.80, and that'll suffice that testing requirements. The second one is with Penn Installation. This is to address the courtroom 1 ceiling plaster work. Of course, we've had some substantial work taking place within the courthouse over the last few years, which has caused some cracks, some separation of the plaster. And this will address that. We consider it to be a slight safety issue. We are working with the courts as well. We have a 2-week window at the end of January that we are able to, that they were able to provide some dates with us. To us to complete this work. We anticipate it's going to take that full 2 weeks to do that. Penn Installation will provide air filtration. We'll move all the IT equipment and such out, protection of the walls and floors and things like that. So with that as well, we're going to take the opportunity to dry clean the drapes and clean paintings and things like that. So we do have some other work that we're going to incorporate with this work. So, so with that, with moving on and trying to hold that schedule, Penn Installation we're also familiar with. They were involved with our ESCO project in 2018. They did the plaster work at the Sheriff's Office. If you've not seen before and after pictures, they did tremendous work. So yeah, so we are familiar with them as well. So And that, so for that 2 weeks worth of work, that sum is $39,386 to complete that work, so.
Fantastic. To think generations and generations ago, part of that ceiling was put up, and now we're just giving it a little TLC, is, just keeping it looking nice. And so it's important to have that courtroom one really looking presentable, and just thank you for all the hard work to keep it up. And so it's great that we're able to partner with these folks. We know the judges and the courts really appreciate it. So thank you, Lee. Thank you. Any other questions or comments for either of these items?
That doesn't need to be bid, does it?
No, I think it's a specialization. Yeah, please.
So this is the plaster work. It is a professional service. We reached out to some other services because of the cost, but in holding with the safety issue that we're seeing and the timing with the court schedule, I'm going to continue to try to get some other quotes as well to suffice that. But this is one that we were able to secure, to move forward with.
Absolutely. Okay. We will look for a motion to move both to next week's consent agenda.
Motion to add the facilities management items 1 and 2 to next week's consent agenda.
All right. It's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. The motion is carried. Thank you, Lee. Appreciate it. Thank you. Okay. We have a human services item for our MHID DNA office, and we'll welcome up Kathy Arbogast. Hi, Kathy. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Only one agenda item for today's meeting. We have a contract renewal with Twin Lakes Center, and this is on our drug and alcohol program side. Twin Lakes Center provides detox and rehab services for individuals with substance use disorder needs. In addition, they do medication-assisted treatment and case management services for those who need those additional supports. Contract total is estimated at $5,000. And that is 100% state funding through the Department of Drug and Alcohol Programs, and is for the time period July 1st, 2022 through June 30th, 2023.
Okay. Kathy, thank you so much. Any questions or comments on the contract? Okay. Seeing none, is there a motion?
Motion to add the contract with Twin Lakes Center to next week's consent agenda.
All right. It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
The motion is carried. Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you.
For Children and Youth Services, we do have our quarterly fiscal report. Welcome, Leah. Good morning.
Good morning. I am here to ask for your consideration for the approval of our Act 148 first quarter fiscal year 2022-2023 report. This is for the period of July 1, 2022 to September 30th of 2022. Currently, that report shows us that we are coming in at about 22% of our current budget, which is right where we want to be at the end of our first quarter.
Fantastic. That's great news, Leah. Great news. Any questions or comments? Okay. We will look for a motion.
Motion to add the Act 148 first quarter fiscal year 2022-2023 report to next week's consent agenda.
I will second that.
All right. It's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. The motion is carried. Leah, thank you. Appreciate it. Okay. Heading into liquid fuels fee for local use, we do have some considerations for approval. John, we'll turn it to you first.
Before you for consideration for approval, the slight adjustment to the wording that's on the agenda. This is an application for a fee for local use for Curtin Township in the amount of $57,150 for Blue Row Road and Middletown Road improvements. The improvements are the reconstruction of the roadway with binder and wearing courses and the placement of shoulders. So the recommended action, if so desired, would be to approve the fee for local use application for Curtin Township.
Okay. Sounds good. And again, we approved this project months or if not a year ago, and so this is just them saying,
Here's the application.
Absolutely. We'd look for a motion then.
Motion to approve the liquid fuels application for Curtin Township on Blue Row Road and Middletown Road improvements.
Is it okay, $5 fee?
Sorry. Oh, sorry. Right, sorry, the note's down here still.
That's okay. No worries.
So, sorry, correct that motion.
Okay.
Motion to approve the fee for local use application for Curtin Township for Blue Row Road and Middletown Road improvements.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. The motion is carried. Okay, thank you, John. And we'll welcome up Liz Lose at this time. We have just a consideration to shift some money and then also the 2023 County Liquid Fuels Program fee for local use. So good morning, Liz. Welcome back, we should say.
Yeah,
Welcome
thank
back.
you.
Yeah.
Spring Township, as it goes, they did not spend all of their allocation that was originally granted back in 2022. They have some additional work, so they would like to use remaining balance of $2,381.55 just to do some additional maintenance.
Okay, sounds good. Would we have any questions on that? Looks like it's all good to go. Okay, great.
Under budget, always good.
Absolutely. We'll look for a motion.
Motion to approve Spring Township to use the remaining portion of the 2022 liquid fuels allocation on additional road and berm repairs.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion on that motion? Hearing and seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. The motion has carried. Okay. And then as we go into...
Sure, Aaron.
Sure. We'll pause for a moment.
To a new presentation.
Yeah, it's showing up on our screen, but it's not coming up on the projector for some reason.
Well, anyway, so while we're getting our technical stuff figured out, so the last time I was down here, I was a little bit scroogey. I was trying to be conservative, but no, I didn't have the figures. I didn't have the firm figures from the Commonwealth.
The ghost of future transportation funds.
Yeah.
Visited.
Yeah. So
Okay.
exactly. So the day after the meeting, the figures came in from the Commonwealth, so we know what we have as far as the balance for both the liquid fuels and the $5 fee. So that gives us all a new sense of confidence. Well, I appreciate the fact that you know that I wasn't the transportation planner. On that note, we do want to welcome Coachy Confer.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
We saw Coachy in the audience, and so we did want to give a shout out. Thank you, Liz. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Congratulations, second day,
Yeah.
Coachy. So
So we've been, I've been running with the baton. I am more than happy to pass it off.
Absolutely.
Off
No,
to Coachy.
in all seriousness, we do appreciate the conservative nature of looking at these funds and preserving some for cost runs, anything that would go over. But we do appreciate your second look at this. Thank you, Liz. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Appreciate listening to the ghost of future transportation projects.
There you go. There you go.
So I hope when we get this, here we go.
There we go.
We're getting
Thank
there.
you, Erin.
So I hope I don't go like too far pendulum-wise that it's like off on the shelf. But anyway, I appreciate your patience and your consideration. So just as a quick rundown for those in the audience and the people at home, the county has three primary source funds for transportation funding program. The liquid fuels, the fee for local use, which comes from the $5 vehicle registration fee, and the Act 13 at-risk bridge fund. This again provides us continued flexibility to shift funds around as needed, and it gives a little bit more leverage when we look at both state and federal funding. Liquid fuels primarily is intended to fund construction, maintenance, and repair of municipal-owned roads and bridges. And of course, when we get these applications in, we do a periphery evaluation looking at need, safety, what the municipality can contribute as far as the last allocation year. These applications, of course, are then vetted through our PennDOT District 2. So for the liquid fuels program and application summary here in 2022, the total for the program is going to be $167,592.46. That represents both the June and the December allocations, which are shown on the screen. We had 14 applications from 14 municipalities, all being eligible. The total requested amount, of course, is always higher than what is in the fund for liquid fuels being just over $987,000.
In this case, about 6 times higher.
About
than the
six,
available.
about 6 times higher. So you gentlemen had charged me with going through the applications again and seeing what could be funded, not just with liquid fuels, but also with the $5 fee, the fee for local use funds. So in terms of the fee for local use, both distributions, allocations to the county between June and December come to $605,000. When we put that in with the end of year balance along with the interest to date, we have a healthy balance of about $2.97 million. Going back to the committed funds for projects that are still out there and pending, plus a bridge bundle, committed funds are about $2.57 million. But this puts the county in a better position as far as what is currently unallocated, meaning it's not committed, it's nearly $400,000. So this puts us more at ease as far as what can be spent. Just as a review of what had been funded in the past through both liquid fuels and the fee for local use, the red dots on the map are liquid fuels projects over the course of the last 8 years, and the greenish blue dots represent fee for local use projects. Just bearing in mind there's a little bit of time difference between the data because the fee for local use didn't really kick in until like the 2017-2018 window. So with the 14 applications that were received and going back looking at the funding available, these are the municipalities that we are offering up for your consideration for the 2023 transportation funding. The red being municipalities for liquid fuels and the green being the municipalities whose projects we find can be funded with the fee for local use. We're going to recommend that we are able to fund 12 of the 14 projects, 5 from liquid fuels and 7 from the fee for local use. So I want to go over first the 5 liquid fuels projects. These aren't much different from what we had presented 2 weeks ago, with the exception of we would like to switch out, we had Walker Township, their bridge project. We're offering up Rush Township. They have some paving projects in the amount of about $13,000. And now with the funding available, we are opting to fund Worth Township in full, that we don't have to do what we had originally intended to do that fee split between the 2 pots of funding. So the total allocation puts us at about $150,479.50. That also fulfills PennDOT's desires. They like to see about 90% of the funding allocated. On the fee for local use recommendations, we have 7 here. Boggs Township, they are continuing their Curtin Hollow Road project, the resurfacing and guardrail. Center Hall Borough, they have a number of different alleyways that need to be paved. Half Moon Township, it is in a very dense residential neighborhood. They have some paving that needs to be done and resurfacing. Snowshoe Borough, again, additional paving of about $25,000. Snowshoe Township, they reached out to us early. The Hickory Road, they're having a lot of drainage issues. And of course, during the wintertime, that's causing freeze up and road issues with icing of about $30,000. Spring Township, it was a smaller project, but it finishes it up to address a headwall drainage pipe issue of about $2,000. The particular switch that we made was Walker Township with that bridge repair. Putting this project into this category also helps fulfill the roadmap bridge funding program. If you recall the commitment to that, there's actually 2 projects still pending through that roadmap that are out there. But that This brings the total allocation up between these projects up to $247,110. So it still puts you well within a healthy retainer while fulfilling these projects where we know that there are needs. With Boggs Township, I just want to also reiterate, because of what they're asking for, it was the third highest request among the applications that come in. Boggs Township, however, they were able to secure a $350,000 multimodal grant, and they're also putting $50,000 towards the project. So they have that contribution set aside. This allocation that they're asking for would get this project to the finish line. So looking just in summary, the total 2023 allocations for transportation funding that we are recommending amount to almost $400,000. This is in line with past allocations that the county has given. Liquid fuels, again, being $150,479.50, and the fee for local use would be $247,110. So with that, I'd like to open the floor for any questions or discussions that you may have.
Sure. Okay. Liz, thank you very much. Thank you. Any comments, questions?
Just again wanted to reiterate the thank you, Liz. We know a lot of our municipalities are fiscally constrained at this point. Like the county, a lot of them rely heavily on property taxes, which have not gone up now for, at least the county level, for 13 years. So we're happy to get these projects kicked off. And from a cash flow standpoint, probably the earliest we'll be cutting checks on this would be, what, summer of next year at the earliest? And we have yet another round of liquid fuel funds coming in. So I think we'll be all right. And it's nice to be generous, especially around Christmas.
Absolutely. Okay. All right. Liz, great presentation, great information. Again, thank you for reviewing and providing some additional investments we can make. So we'd be looking to add this to next week's consent agenda for final approval.
Motion to add the 2023 liquid fuels and fee for local use allocations to next week's consent agenda.
All right. It's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion? Questions? Okay. Hearing and seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. The motion is carried. Liz, thank you again. Thank you.
Okay,
Great
thank
presentation.
you. Thank you for part two.
Of course,
Oh,
of
you're
course.
welcome.
Thank you. Okay. We have a record amount. 2.5 pages of fantastic people who have either been reappointed, appointed, term expirations, resignations, and a variety of appointments. And so they cover ag land preservation, aging, airport authority, our general authority, industrial development authority, the historical museum and library board of trustees, recycling authority, CYS advisory board, conservation district, higher education authority, hospital authority, planning commission, our RSVP advisory council, and last but not least, our CEDACOG board of directors. So just to go through them from the group standpoint, if we did have any questions around the table of anybody that we'd want to pull out or, okay, all right. And we all have to vote on these because we're all being
on there.
We're all being reappointed. So we typically say sometimes, do we abstain? We can't. We have to. Somebody's got to vote. So.
Well, actually,
yeah.
Having given that some thought, that there's no financial
Absolutely.
End of it for us, so it's
Absolutely.
more public service.
No, absolutely. So we do have a list here of, and we would look for a motion.
Motion to approve the numerous authorities, boards, and commissions appointments, reappointments, resignations, and term expirations.
I will second all that.
Okay. It has been moved and seconded. Any final discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. The motion is carried. Okay. And our check run from Commissioner Higgins.
Sure, about a half a normal-sized check run of $747,742.33. A lot of checks in here, but I thought I'd highlight Center County government's continued not just operational support, but actual financial support for the Penn State Cooperative Extension Service. Wonderful group. Does a lot of things here in Center County, not just directly for agriculture, but for master gardeners, 4-H, 4-H robotics, a lot of different groups benefit from this. So happy to cut them a check for $4,976.37. And I would like to make the motion to approve the check report dated December 9th.
It has been moved and seconded to approve the check run. Any final discussion, questions? All right. Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. The motion has carried. Okay. John, anything to report at this time?
Nothing to report at this time.
Okay. Any voter registration today,
Well,
Commissioner?
My able assistant is out this morning. I
Fair enough.
Did not have a voter registration report, but I'm hoping next week I will be able to fulfill that requirement.
Sounds good. All right. Thank you, Commissioner. All right. Announcements again. We want to remind folks Friday, the 23rd of December and Monday, the 26th of December, our offices will be closed for the Christmas holiday. However, we do have planned meetings on the 15th, the 20th, and the 27th, potentially the 29th as well. So we do want to let folks know we still have business to conduct. We also would still love public comment on the proposed 2023 tentative county budget available online. Any executive sessions to report or hold, John?
No executive sessions to report. However, there is a need to hold an executive session to discuss personnel matters.
All right. Thank you. We have the balance of our schedule again for the next several weeks. And before we adjourn, we'd be happy to entertain any questions from the press, Gary or Brianna.
Was there any projected cost of what a health department would cost the county, the expense?
So part of the reservations around going into a county health office are the financial considerations. The initial report did not specifically pinpoint or analyze a cost. We had requested an additional addendum that was provided, but it was only provided at the base minimum. And if you look at any other county health office in the state or some of the cities that have them, none of them do the minimum. And so rather than going out for another consulting round, and it was clear that there wasn't an appetite at that time. So there were projections that were included in the addendum to the report, but again, there is not an appetite at this time.
If it came to pass the borough had a health office, are there resources the county could add to that to supplement without the county having its own office?
There are some, so again, the constraints of the borough and university, the municipal boundaries there. The borough does have a health office, but in terms of a public health care office, it's certainly different. Absolutely. If there's any overlap that might occur from some of the services we provide that may border, touch, yeah, we're absolutely happy to partner with them, and I think they know that.
Steve, what's the status of the juvenile detention center? Has there been any talk of expansion or any? I asked, we've heard in recent weeks neighboring counties talking about an increase in juvenile offenders.
I think if you go up there right now, at least last week, it was the population, the juvenile population there was about 9. That's actually a little higher than normal, but some of those are out of network children. In other words, not members of the consortium, which is the 5 contiguous counties here. As far as I see at this point, the challenge continues to be the level of mental health and other substance abuse issues that we're seeing, and that requires a considerable amount of attention from our staff. But as far as everything else, it's running very well. And again, it's a very necessary facility. We rely on it here in Center County, as do the other 4 counties in the consortium. But as the number of those youth detention facilities deteriorate across our state, we are getting more and more interest in our facility from further and further out. And if we did not have this, we would probably be relying on facilities either on the far fringes of our Commonwealth, or perhaps even going into Ohio. So the facility itself has a critical function here in central Pennsylvania.
A feasibility study of expansion here or renovating this facility?
No, we did a renovation 15 years ago, and added capacity, and I think we're satisfied with that. There's some other programs and some other options we've looked at. I think right at this point, we're going to continue the mission as a juvenile detention facility.
That's all I have, thank you.
Thank you. All right, we will look for a motion to go into executive session at this time. Okay.
Motion to go into executive session at 11 o'clock.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. We are in executive session. Thank you all. Have a great day.